Hi everyone, it's my pleasure to be here today with you. Today I have the honor to talk about the challenges that tourism is facing thanks to this pandemic. I have to say that the challenges of the tourism sector are the same before and after the pandemic. The thing is that COVID-19 has accelerated these challenges. I would start by saying that the 5 challenges that the tourism sector has are: first of all, innovation; second of all, education; third of all, investments; fourth of all, added value jobs; and fifth, or last but not least, sustainability. When we are talking about innovation, the main focus of our job is improving the tourism innovation ecosystem. I have to say that thanks to this journey, we need to improve the connection between governments, startups, investors, academia, of course, institutions, and the national governments. Today, I have to say that those connections have been improving the way we are innovating. Nonetheless, we need more pilot projects between startups and corporates. We need a more serious supply chain between providers and corporates that are buyers of those technologies that the startups develop. We need a more interesting venture capital culture. Just some facts and figures. The last year, $22 billion were invested in tourism startups. That's amazing because besides the pandemic, venture capital was increasing. Nonetheless, those entrepreneurs and those startups that received investment, 80% of them were based in the US and China, that are the more mature innovation ecosystem. So my question here is, what is happening with the other countries? What is happening with the tourism innovation ecosystem? We need to improve more in order to bring those capitals to emerging markets as Latin America, Asia Pacific, and African countries. That's why our role through startup competitions, challenges, innovation forums that are the UNWTO Tourism Tech Adventure Forums are part of the key strategies in order to foster a more mature tourism innovation ecosystem. Another fact, I don't know if you know, but from the 100% unicorns that are enterprises that are valued on more than $1 billion, only 5% are from the tourism sector. We need to help the internationalization process of the entrepreneurs. We need to connect them with investors, with corporates, with governments, etc. Second great challenge that we have, education. I don't know, once again, if you know, but this is really important. Tourism is the top employer of women and youth. Nonetheless, 50% of the young, talented minds working in tourism only have secondary skills. If we want to develop a high-level economic sector, we need to improve education. And digital education is here to stay. Thanks to digital education, we can scale up the way people are educated. Our aim this year is to have at least 30,000 new students in our UNWTO Tourism Online Academy. And how can we do this? Of course, developing partnerships with top universities. It doesn't matter if they are focused on managerial or vocational skills, but we need to improve the way people get a certificate in order to have a formal career and a formal professional path in the tourism sector. And of course, if I'm talking about innovation, that is the sector for youth. If I am talking about tourism, that is the sector of youth, of course, innovation and education has to be aligned if we want the third challenge, that is added value jobs. As I already said, 100 million jobs are under risk thanks to this pandemic. But of course, if we don't have people with a professional certificate, if we don't get the tools to help them to access, how we can preserve those jobs. So that's why inside our public policies from national governments, in our commercial strategies from the corporates, from the big hotel chains, from the big airlines, from the SMEs, in every single company that is working in tourism, every single company needs to have an innovative mindset, but of course, a strategy to train their employers to be better and to develop what always the people that work in education says, to be a lifelong learner. It means to study, to learn, to relearn, to unlearn, but we need to help people to gain new skills, skills on technology, skills on big data, skills on how to measure and how to deal with artificial intelligence, but on the other side, to deal with humanities, because this is the more human economic sector. So of course we need a hybrid model between bringing leaders full of commitment, of communication skills, on political skills, but on the other side we need hard skills as well, and that combination will help us to create a high-level economic sector. Fourth of all, of course, we need investments, but not any kind of investments, green investments. Why green investments? As you have seen, tourism decreased by 75% during 2020. I have another fact. Foreign direct investment decreased 75% as well. So if we want investors back, of course, we need economic incentives, tax incentives, and everything related to political and legal stability with, of course, a very serious framework. But our aim in the UNWTO is to promote green investments, to promote that investors bring their capital to create sustainable cities, more modern cities, but of course inclusive cities, inclusive destinations, inclusive amusement parks that are full of commitment with the environment, with technology, with the human beings, and of course that thanks to their investments we can create added value jobs focused on the power of tourism. That's why we have been partnering with the International Development Bank, with the IFC, and with other international financial institutions, because we know that together, through a legal framework, through a political stability, and of course, with a multilateral message on what we know that will recover the sector again, we will have a very powerful message, and we can help investors to develop a tourism investment culture thanks to this framework. And last but not least, of course, sustainability. Most of the people think that being sustainable is about working with the environment and for the environment. And to be honest, being sustainable is not only talking about the environment, it's about at least working with communities, working with the most vulnerable people, working for inclusion, using technology for good, and of course, to take care about the environment. So, of course, after this pandemic, I have learned, and I know that you all have learned about how sustainability needs to be part of our lives. So, if we develop a more sustainable framework where innovators bring solutions for a more sustainable development, if we bring green investments, if we create curricula inside the institutions in order to promote sustainability, and last but not least, if we add value through our jobs in order to take care and to give back to the community, thanks to the tourism sector, we are using the sector to become from important to relevant. I know that today you will have a lot of conferences, but I would like to end with this final message, that is, the responsibility of recovering the tourism sector is from all the tourism ecosystem. Is not only the responsibility of the UNWTO, is not only the responsibility of the governments, it's not only the responsibility of the private sector. We all need to recover the tourism sector. To recover the tourism sector, responsibility is part of our job, and educating people, improving innovation, working on added value jobs, and developing a more modern, sustainable, and innovative tourism will help us to recover this sector again and to lead by example by using resilience and by using this high-level network that is the human network in order to improve the way people live, the way people travel, and the way people are educated. Thank you so much and enjoy the journey.